Hello children, the next chapter we are going to see is chapter 9, Introduction to Internet and Email, that is unit 3, web page development using HTML and CSS. In unit 3, the first chapter is Introduction to Internet and Email. What do you mean by Internet? Internet means what? Internet means it's a connections of networks, that is several networks, small and big, all over the world are connected together to form a global network is called the internet. So internet is nothing but the collections of networks, and to form a global network is called the internet. So internet, we have some sharing of informations and we can access any data from anywhere, from at any time. So what do you mean by internet? The correct definition of internet is it's a several networks, small and big, over the world are connected together to form a global network is called the internet. So the internet uses two protocols. Protocols means or nothing but it's a rules and regulations. It's a set of program. So internet uses two protocols. One is called a TCP, another one is called the IP. What do you mean by TCP? TCP means it's a transmission control protocol. What do you mean by transmission? Transmission means transfer the data from here to there, from there to here. So it's a first one is a transmission control protocol. It controls the transfer of data. So for that we have some set of rules and regulations, that is nothing but the statements, some set of statements. Then the next one is a IP. IP means it's a internet protocol. So the internet uses TCP and IP to transmit data via various types of media. So the internet protocol addressing system is used to keep track of millions of users. So what is the purpose of TCP? TCP is used to transmit the data via various types of media. Then what is the purpose of IP? So IP is a addressing system. IP address, you hear that, no, some movies you can hear that. What is the IP address? We can find the IP address like that, they told, no. So the internet protocol is something but addressing system is used to keep the track of millions of users who are access the internet. So we are using TCP and IP. So each computer on the net is called a host. So in the network, in the global network, the computers which are connected to the network is called a host. So underline that line. Each computer on net is called a host. The internet is the most cost-effective method of communication in the world. Examples of few services available here is internet, extranet and intranet. So the internet, you know the meaning. So the internet works by using the protocol called TCP and IP. They allows one computer to talk to another computer via the internet through compiling packets of data. Packets of data means the data which you are going to access, and sending them to the right location. Then what do you mean by extranet? So internet, you had known the definition. Then what do you mean by extranet and intranet? So the extranet is the private network. It's not a common or it's a open source network. It is the private network which is used to uses the internet technology and the public telecommunication system to securely share the part of business information. So mainly the extranet is used in the business development. So within the one office, within that corporate office, they are using that private network. So private network, but they are getting the sources from the public telecommunication system, but they can develop their own private network and sharing the information within their suppliers, vendors, partners, customers or other business. Then what do you mean by intranet? Intranet is a website used by the organization to provide a place where employees can access company information. So intranet is nothing but the website used by a particular organization to provide the information about their organization to the employees and access company information. So example, policies, procedures, staff directory. Now you are using our school website, no, like that. So tools and collaborate to social sharing tools, similar Facebook. Then what are the some other some other services available? The next one is email. Email, you know, email means what is the expansion for email? It's a electronic mail. then web enabled audio video conferencing services, then online classes, online movies and gaming, then data transfer, file sharing, often through the file transfer protocol. Underline that line. FTP means it's a file transfer protocol. Then instant messaging, then internet forums, then social networking, online shopping, financial services. These are all called the services available through the internet. Then what do you mean by domain name? 9.2.1. What do you mean by domain name? In page number 204, what do you mean by domain name? Domain name is nothing but the name which are given to your in your web page name. So what is the last name? .com, .gov, .org, .net. These are all called the domain name. It's a name or an identity which become an online identity and can access by the web browser when connect to the internet. You know the web ID. They ask you know the web ID is www.google.com. That .com is called a domain name. The last after that last three letters, you know, that .com. They have specific meaning. Each and every .com, .in, .gov, .edu. That letters have a specific meaning. So what do you mean by .com? .com means it's a commercial organization. Then .gov means it's a government institution. Then .org means it's a non-profit organization. Then .net means it's a network support group. Then .edu means it's a educational institution. So domain name means it is used to give the identity of your website name. Okay, so if you have in your website in the last three letters are in .edu means you are accessing the educational institution. So in the heart of the internet, an internet is called a domain name, that is domain name system, DNS. Underline that line. DNS expansion is domain name system. The way computers can contact each other and do things such as exchange electronic mail or display web pages. The internet protocol uses the internet address information and the DNS to deliver the mail and other informations from computer to computer. Here you see some other domain names. .in means India, .au means Australia, .us means United States of America, .jp means Japan, .ru means Russia, .sg means it's a Singapore. Next one, URL. What do you mean by URL? URL, the expansion of URL is Uniform Resource Locator. So here you see in this diagram, the URL means it's a uniform resource locator, nothing but your website ID www.google.com. So that whole thing http www.google.com. So that ID is called the URL, that is uniform resource locator, which is used to locate your data. So it gives the data to you. So the resource locator means the name itself you have the meaning. Uniform resource locator means it's nothing but the website ID. So every server on the internet has an IP number, unique number consisting of 4 parts separated by dots. So the IP number in the server address. So here you have 160, for example 165.113.245.2. So at times the number keeps changing, hence it is harder for people to remember number than to remember word combination. That is, every IP address means it has the number. So 165. In case if you want to open a Google website, so instead of www.google.com, you have to type this number 165.1113.245.2. So it is not for human being, it is not. So here it is not so for human being it is not possible to remember all the numbers. To type for each and every website ID, you have to remember all the numbers and type the numbers is not possible. So instead of using that numbers, we are going to use some words, combinations of words. So that combinations of words is called a uniform resource locator. So instead of 165.113.245.2, we are going to type http. It's already there in the system, so we are going to type only the domain name. So www.google.com. So it's the IP address is in number, then instead of that numbers we are going to type the combinations of some words. So at times the number keeps change, hence it is harder for people to remember number than the remember word combination. So address is given in the word basis address called URL. So the URL and the IP number are one and the same. So instead of using number, we are using the word combinations. So a URL is an address that shows where particular page can be found on the World Wide Web. World Wide Web means www. The expansion of www is World Wide Web. So URL is an abbreviation for Uniform Resource Locator. So here you see the example in the box. You see the example. So under URL you have a HTTP, that is protocol. Hyper, what is the expansion of HTTP? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So the expansion of one word question, the expansion of HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Then the www is called a subdomain. Then Google is called a domain. Then .com is called a top level domain. The three are called a domain. So the www means World Wide Web, that is subdomain. Then Google is a domain. Then .com is the top level domain. Then who governs the internet? Who governs the who has the authority to govern the internet? One of the most frequently asked question about the internet is who runs it. So who runs the internet? The truth is that no centralized management of the internet exists. So the ICANN, the right side you see, do you know? ICANN was created on September 18, 1998 and incorporated on September 30, 1998 in the US state of California. It is headquartered in a Playa Vista neighborhood of Los Angeles. So the internet can be governed by the ICANN. So the internet as a whole does not have a single controller, but the Internet Society, which is voluntarily membership organization, takes the responsibility to promote global information exchange, the internet technology. So the ICANN, what is the expansion for ICANN? Underline that line. Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. So assigned names and numbers means nothing but the URL names and numbers. So Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers administers the domain name registration. It helps to avoid name which is already registered. Then what is W3C? W3 means www and C. So what do you mean by W3C? W3C stands for World Wide Web Consortium. The W3C is an international community that includes the full-time staff, industry experts and several number of organizations. These groups work together to develop standards for World Wide Web. So the W3C is an international organization committed to improve the web. It is made up of several hundred numbers organizations from a variety of related IT industries. W3C sets standards for the World Wide Web to facilitate better communication ability and cooperation among all web stakeholders. So it was established in the 1994 by creator of www. Who created the World Wide Web? Tim Berners-Lee. Then what are the types of internet services? What are the types of internet service? So next topic is types of internet service. So here are some common types of internet service. First one is wireless. So what do you mean by wireless? Wireless means without any cable we can use the internet networking. So radio frequency bands are used in place of telephone or cable networks. One of the greatest advantage of wireless internet connection is always on connection that can be accessed from any location that falls within network coverage. So wireless connections are made possible through the use of modem. What do you mean by modem? Modem, the expansion of modem is it's a modulator and demodulator. So the expansion of modem is it's a modulator and demodulator, which is pick up the internet signals and sends them to the other devices. Then the second one is mobile. So many cell phone and smartphone providers offer voice plan with internet accesses. Mobile internet connection provide good speed and allow you to access the internet. Then hotspot. Hotspots are the sites that offer internet service or access over the wireless local area network, WLAN. WLAN means it's a wireless local area network by way of router. that then connects to an internet service provider. Hotspots utilize Wi-Fi technology, which allows electronic devices to connect to the internet or exchange data wirelessly through the radio waves. Underline that line. It's a hotspot means it's wirelessly but through the radio waves. Hotspots can be phone based or freestanding, commercial or free to the public. Then broadband. The high-speed internet connection is provided through either cable or telephone companies. One of the fastest options available. Broadband internet uses multiple data channels to send large quantity of information. The term broadband is shorthand for broad bandwidth. So broadband internet connections such as DSL and cable are considered high bandwidth connections, although many DSL connections can be considered broadband. So not all broadband connections are DSL. What do you mean by DSL? DSL means it's a digital subscriber line. So DSL means it's a digital subscriber line. Underline that line. Uses existing two-wire copper telephone line connected to one's home. So service is delivered the same time as landline telephone service. So DSL it's a home connection. Customers can still place calls while surfing on internet. Then cable internet connection is the form of broadband access. Through uses of cable modem, user can access the internet over cable TV lines. Cable modems can provide extremely fast access to the internet. Then satellite, it's certain areas where broadband connection is not yet offered, a satellite internet option may be available. Similar to wireless access, satellite connection utilizes a modem. Modem means it's a modulator and demodulator. Then ISDN. What is the expansion for ISDN? Integrated Service Digital Network. Allows user to send data, voice and video content over digital telephone lines or standard telephone wires. The installation of ISDN adapter is required at both ends of the transmission on the part of the user as well as the internet access provider. Then next one, dongles and data card. What do you mean by dongles and data card? Data card means your memory card or extension card, flash card, something like that. Then dongles means it's a device which is used to connect the two devices. So today many dongles provide wireless capabilities. For example, USB Wi-Fi adapters are often called dongles. So what do you mean by dongle? Dongle means it's a USB Wi-Fi adapters. It's like a pen drive. So where you have to keep your SIM card and you can access the Wi-Fi. So since most computers now have built-in Wi-Fi chips, mobile data adapters such as 3G and 4G dongles are more prevalent. These types of dongles allows to connect the internet even when Wi-Fi is not available. So what is the comparison difference between data card and dongle? Dongle refers to any removable component used for enabling extra security. So USB dongles can be divided into Wi-Fi dongles, otherwise Bluetooth dongle or memory dongle. Then data card is an electronic card. It is a removable electronic card which is used for storing for data. Types of data card are expansion card, then memory card, then identification card. Then the next one is internet connection and access methods. We have two methods. One is indirect access, another one is a direct access. Indirect access means we have used the network using the wired connection. We have to use the internet connection and access the internet. Direct access means using the mobile. We can use 3G and 4G mobile networks or public Wi-Fi. So first one is a indirect access. This is the most common method used in home and office networks. The device, example computer, connects to the network using Ethernet or Wi-Fi. The network connects to the internet using the asymmetric digital subscriber line. That is a cable connection, cable or fiber connection. It is a ADSL. ADSL means asymmetric digital subscriber line. Then direct access. What do you mean by direct access? This is the most common method used while traveling. So the device, example smartphone, connected directly to the internet using 3G or 4G mobile networks or public Wi-Fi. There are two ways to look after the information on the web. One is you have to type your URL in the address bar and press enter. You can see your information. If you are not known the correct URL, means you have to use the search engine and type the data. So your search engine is nothing but the software system that is designed to search for information on the World Wide Web. Examples of popular search engines are Yahoo, Lycos, then Alta Vista, then Hotbot, then Google and Ask Jeeves. So a browser is used to access. What do you mean by browser? Browser means it's a Google, then Mozilla Firefox, then is all called the browsers. So a browser is used to access websites and web pages. First you have to know the difference between what you mean by web page and website. So web page means a single page which is open in the website. Website it means it's a collection of web page. So whereas a search engine issued to search a particular information, then Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, Safari are the most popular web browsers, while Google and Yahoo are the search engines. Then a browser is used to access the internet, whereas in order to open search engine you need a browser. A list of content written via the search engine to a user known as search engine result page. Underline that line. SERP means what are the list of contents written via the search engine is known as a search engine result page. So the list of content means about some data, about some information you are typing. Suppose in case you want to see the job search, so otherwise online shopping, so you type the online shopping in the search engine, then the list of online shopping websites will be available. So that result is called a search engine result page. Then what are the internet applications available? First one job search, then online shopping, then stock market updates, then traveling, you can book your make my trip, something like that, you can book your tickets. Then research, then you can for research purpose you can take the data, access the data. Then video conferencing, online classes. Then e-commerce, what do you mean by e-commerce? Buying and selling goods and services. Then online payments through banking, that and all you can do. Then social networking you obviously know. Then voicemail is the system sending message over the phone. Then chatting, then e-banking means using internet your bank transactions will be take place. Then e-learning means using internet you can learn your topics through CD-ROM or DVD. Otherwise from the internet you can access your required informations and learning. Then e-governance, what do you mean by e-governance? E-governance means all government transactions or government works can be taken place through the internet, that is called e-governance. Then benefits of e-governance: reduced corruption, high transparency, increased convenience, reduction of overall cost and expanded research of government. So these are all the types of internet applications. So this one is the important 5 mark question. The next topic will be email, that we will see in the next part. Okay.